following is a special MRE UNO presentation, Division 1, Super League 2024. Brock, Chomik, the immovable rock, versus the young Hefe. The young boss leads the points in Group B. He had to pull some magic again down 2-1 against the fastest in the West. But now Chomik has 4 points and is in control. He is the Hefe, the leader of Group B. All the targets remain on him. But enter the rock, a different type of animal. Fate looks abound, switches galore. He comes into this game with everything to gain and minimal to lose. William Brock the Rock will be ready, and he'll be ready to cook. Whether it be a +4 or +2 combo, or a Fate look to green. The Rock will place a folder in Chomik's back pocket. Will Chomik rise to the occasion? Will The Rock take control of this group? When a perennial favorite such as him enters the Parthenon, you know things are about to get real and valid fast. Chomik has to be on high alert. Brock is ready to go over the throne. We're about to see a commencement in the Athens Hills in Group B. It's week 3, but I do have one question to ask. Are you not entertained? Because it's The Rock, young boss, Georgia, China, Georgia. Let's get it on in the Athens Hills in week 3. A superstar matchup awaits as the points leader Chomik roars into Brock's fields as he looks to tie Chomik for the points lead. A big matchup. Chomik with a win tonight. Is it game over? Can he clinch to round 12? Very likely would join JT at the 7-point club and look good. If Brock gets it done, we would go into a week 4 situation where everybody's to play for. Except, of course, Chomik will be on a bye, and we'll have to weigh it out and sweat it out when we get to week 5. Ghost would also be an interesting spot. But that's a little bit later. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Rock versus Young Boss, Week 3. The closeout the Week 3 will be in Group B to start us off here tonight as we go into the schedule. Of course, the first game we had was Toaster Guy and JT back on Halloween Eve, and JT found the business in Game 6 to move on over Toaster Guy. Toaster Guy needs some magic, but he couldn't find it. JT moves on 7 points. Very likely, no matter what happens against Sanford next week, he's in. Regardless, he'll be playing for seeding. And of course, not needed that win against Ghost. He found a way, but had to sweat bullets in Game 6. Definitely a closer affair compared to JT Toaster at the end of the day. And this group right here, it's going to be Brock Chom. We'll get to that shortly. And then DJ Sanford, I believe, and a lot of people believe, insiders believe, this is it. The loser of that game, especially if it's Sanford, could be cooked. If it's DJ, at least he has Lane in week 4. That's a possible chance to make a run. And with Toaster for Guy coming off the bye, definitely a must-win for Sanford more than DJ, but definitely for both guys, the desperation's at an all-time high. That will be at 9:30. Looking forward to that one. We don't have an updated group standing graphic, but I will kind of explain what's going on. Chomik's still at 4. Of course, Knob moves to 2nd at 3 points, and then we have Ghost and Steven. Steven is technically in because Ghost has a bad game differential compared to Steven, -2-0. But there's Brock with 1 point. All Brock's got to do is either tie, right? If he ties, then he passes both and will put himself in a good spot. If he gets the win, then chaos is unfolded, and it's back to Chomik, Brock, and Nam at the top. And boy, oh boy, what a story that will be entering week 4 for those guys. We'll see how it goes. Tie here, then it becomes still a case of Chomik will still have to fight for stuff in week 5, but he's in a more comfortable spot. Brock with 2 more weeks after. You got to think with him, tie against Ghost could be something he's looking forward. Maybe set him up for a last week showdown against Nam. We'll see what the strategies will be. We'll go into the scene real quick. It's just going to be me tonight. Of course, commentating with my boy Ed Ziemba. Good to have the Glazer back in the booth. He's been doing a lot of Brock games, I've noticed, and it's good to have him back. And of course, my man Art's going to be reffing, doing a little commentary as well. Little three-man booth to start us off here on a Friday night. We'll see how it goes. We'll go to Art. Art, obviously, The Rock has been known to be one of the best players in this format, right? We talked about William Brock in this format. It's pretty lethal. You got to look at William Brock. He's been here before. Last week may have not been his week in terms of getting a win, but remember, he came off of week 1. Now he's got a second game right here to play, and he gets the points leader. Stakes are high. What does Chomik got to do to get into Brock's side? Because split ammo is one thing we're going to look at tonight from Chomik. He hasn't used it much more game flow, but it's coming, and Brock's got the fade look. This is definitely a game of two different styles compared to the other two games we saw back on October 30th. Art?
I just got back. I did not hear your question.
I said your thoughts on William Brock here. Going to try to get the points lead to tie the points lead. Chomik coming as the big boss right of this group. Has a lot of split ammo in his back pocket. Haven't seen it more game flow. How do you think Brock can get? How do you think Chomik can get into Brock's head? Because Brock's the perennial favorite of this group. He's got the fade look. It's going to be a fade look versus we think split ammo on paper game, but you never know. Game flow is definitely something Chomik's improved on.
That's kind of one of the interesting things to think about here because you don't know what you're going to expect. You don't know who's going to throw what sort of strategy out. We don't know where Brock can go sometimes. He could go for that split ammo strategy, which you were talking about. It's just when you're facing someone like Chomik can throw anything out and something could stick as well.
We'll go to Ed. Ed, obviously, Super League, making your Super League broadcast debut tonight. You've seen so many games of William Brock. You never know what he'll throw down. He throws a blue down. Doesn't mean it's game over. He might have a blue to finish the game. How do you think Chomik's got to assess that risk management on colors tonight? Because that seems to be where Brock cooks. Thoughts on that? Ed? Or can you hear it?
He's not even talking on my end.
Ed, can you hear us, man? No. Just rejoin, man. Rejoin. Maybe just rejoin. You're good. When we get back, let's go to our players while we wait here as Ed sorts that out. Let's go to Brock. Brock, welcome back, man. You're back into your second game. A huge game tonight. You look at the way Chomik's been playing. You've obviously seen him. You saw him against Nam. Now you get to play him here tonight. Big points game. How do you manage the points situation, but also know a win here could be the lock and key? We'll get back to you, Ed. Thoughts on playing Chomik, knowing that you have a chance to tie the points leader and use your continued controlled ammo like you've been talking about since the T5 start?
Well, I mean, I am as nice as it would be to try and tie the game. I would definitely prefer to win this. Definitely prefer to win it all, and hopefully I can try and win it all here today.
Simple as that. Ed, can you hear us? No idea with that. We'll have to get back to him. I'll go with Chomik. Chomik, obviously you're the points leader, right? You're the big Hefe. What we got here? Oh, broccoli versus hamster. You're obviously playing the big head honcho in Brock in terms of this is a big name, right? William Brock is not someone to be messed with, but you're the head honcho in the point standings. How do you manage knowing that you win tonight? Welcome to the round. You're not going to be called with 7 points with top 3 advancement. Thoughts on how you're going to be able to take care of business tonight against Brock, who will be a formidable opponent? Let us know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. We'll just wait on Chom. Chom, you going to type it out, boss, or you going to talk? Just pray you're going to type. Okay, got you. Hey, could you hear my question earlier? I'm sorry, maybe we're having technical difficulties.
I did, yeah. I don't know. For some reason, my mic wasn't going through, but I refreshed and it seems to be working now.
Yeah, your thoughts, Ed, on just, you want me to repeat, or you got the question? On just Brock tonight? You've been
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think with Chomik facing Brock, I think Chomik has to, face the unexpected here. You never know what he's fading. You never know what he's got saved. And I think Chomik's just really got to be careful with that ammo, especially towards getting lower towards the end of games with the lower number cards. And ultimately, I think it's gonna be a great showdown. I mean, Chomik's, number one here in the point standings, and Brock made it all the way to the finals. So in the last tournament, so it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch these two play.
Yeah, this definitely wasn't a highlighted matchup coming into the old group stage art, but now this is big. You look at this group, looking ahead, you got to look at the last week. You got to circle that game. Brock Nom's going to be killer, but I think this is a sequel to that. I got a feeling we're going to start a preview tonight. I look forward to it.
This is the prequel to that
Yeah,
game.
well, pretty cool game. I think this is big going. You look at week 4. I think you got to look as well. Ghost is on elimination. I think anything with Brock the rest of the way is going to be huge stakes. We know Ghost has that advantage, but of having a so-called week 5 bye, but sometimes you got to go off it. So, Art, please do the honors. As always, my friend, initiate the game. We will have Chomik at home today. He obviously decided to win the toss and decided to receive the toss. We'll go game 1 of 3. Chomik will, of course, change his name if he wants. Best of 6, no power play. And there we go, and the ping. And of course, the TI is 3-3. And there it is. All right, our big moment here. We got to ask young Boston those most famous words. Go for it.
Really?
Never mind, Art. You got beat to the punch.
Wow.
Chomik? Come on, man.
Damn.
Full send off the bat.
Chomik
Full
is
send off the bat, but dude, you gotta let me do that thing, Chomik. Come on.
He's
Chomik.
excited.
Yeah, he big time. Chomik knows this is a big game, man. And he's messing around with Art already.
Well, he's gonna have a hefty fine coming his way. Don't worry.
Hefty fun. Well, we started off with Nam, Art.
We talked about him earlier, and that's what happens. What?
That's how it works with this bomb, man. It's a little bit different. All right, well, we'll see it. Obviously, Chomik has a little split ammo. We talk about this, but, Brock doesn't really go for that upper tier. We know Brock is a guy to go 7 through 10, so this is going to be a contrast game in terms of card start for sure. Waiting on Chomik right here.
Just testing all the cards he's got right now.
Chomik taking his time, or really taking that time. This is interesting.
And I'm surprised that Chomik's taking this long for his first move, but I guess it's seeing what he wants to do.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh,
well then, never mind. I just forgot.
I'm just gonna go do something.
Don't see that every day.
No, you don't. And well, that's right. There's no ping on the first turn. It's as the old saying goes, it's as registered, which means you would think you would just play the first turn. Okay, off to an interesting start here. Interesting start, Art. Here comes Chomik with reverse early. He's aggressive, Art. Huge aggression, Ed.
Yeah, he's going off the aggressive here early, but at least it's just a couple of reverses though, so I don't think that's a huge problem.
Just grabbing a nice early lead, getting a little comfortable at the start. I don't mind seeing that.
No, yeah, I think this is a good idea. Well, we'll see what The Rock thinks, though. This is the thing, Art and Ed. The Rock has an answer every time. That's how he. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Answer.
There it is. You say it. You say it, and here he is.
Tic tac, baby. Huge answer from The Rock.
That's throwing down the gauntlet.
Amazing.
The maniac is The Rock tonight, throwing the gauntlet. This isn't no split ammo, or this is you attack me, I'm attacking you back type stuff.
It's like you do that, I do it twice.
Oh my word!
Oh, that ain't twice. That ain't twice. That's more than that.
Into a Ard heat check +4 into the Zach 103 red dudes, and Chomik is sent back packing. Hey, this is crazy from Brock, as we'll go to yellow.
Yeah,
Brock
I mean,
throwing the
starting
gauntlet
off
down. Yeah.
aggressive. Starting aggressive fast. Maybe might throw Chomik a little off guard here.
Yeah, I like the aggression from both players early. We talk about game flow. Chomik started this aggression. Brock's just answering back, but it's a little extra on top. We'll see if those extra cherries in the back end actually will prove to be something as Alex joins us and his card is played. But I really like where Chomik's going with this art. Trying to test Brock early, but you know Brock's got the fade. That's the biggest thing he does, the fade look.
Gotta look out for that fade check.
Well, a little crossover fade, a little double deuce and double nines. There we go. Self dittos. And we'll go to a yellow 5 to go in the middle. And this is interesting. This is interesting right now.
It really is.
Chomik's really not throwing anything. He's testing Brock, trying to exhaust that yellow. I think it's a good strategy.
Unless he doesn't have much.
This bad Brad joins us as well. Let's see what Brock will do. Does he fade this over to a blue? He'll go to his own card. There you go.
Sticking with yellow.
The Rock plays his own card. Okay.
Remember, The Rock, if he wins this game, ties the whole group's on set. Everybody would be separated basically by 2 points. I mean, that's crazy. Going into week 4, that's hard to believe. I'll tell you that, but it's hard to believe.
Well, yeah, you're basically going to go into the last 2 weeks of the group. Then if that happens, but Chomik kind of pulls Brock back a little bit.
A little bit. Nothing crazy though, Ed. Brock's still 6 possessions ahead. I think Chomik, he's got to be careful when he switches the color. He's going to try it right here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No. He's playing a certain strategy here. I see what he's doing here. Really good strategy.
It's good strategy, but Brock's got an answer. That's not what he needs.
Wow.
That is not what he needs.
Not ideal.
Brock going to switch it for sure.
Ooh.
There it is. Called it. The reads continue, Ward. The school of reads, you never can count them out. Now the question is, does Chomik have an answer? He's going to undercut. It's risky. That's risky, Ed. We know Brock with the fade. Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's a rainbow.
Skittles.
Quince Skittles, how about that? And Brock with the fade look. We talked about this. And we talked about this, Ed. Just because he fades the green doesn't mean Chomik is in the clear, right? He goes back to green. You know Brock going to have green. That's how it works with Brock usually.
Yeah, you just can't know what he has, and it just felt like he was ready for that situation.
Chomik. Yeah, go for it, Ed.
Oh, he throws the gauntlet down.
And that's like that. Chomik within a possession. Brock got things 4 freshies, though. You got to know he's got the green right here. You know he's going to switch. Oh, he's going to fade it. As Fitzwater joins us.
Oh, boy. Now it's a party.
Fitz, thoughts on this game. But Chomik throws the green wild. And it's going to fade
I don't know
Brock.
about that. Oh, it worked.
That actually worked.
Fitz, thoughts on this so far? Fitz having a moment. Oh, there we go, Ed. There it is, speechless. There it is.
That had to be top deck.
You never know, Art. You never know, though. You never know. Brock gets back to red where he wants it.
I think I'm kind of right on that. That was probably a top deck move.
You would think it would be a top deck move, but this is William Brock. You just never know with him. As Fitz leaves.
We'll see here. Brock kind of running it down right now. Chomik might have to do something right here.
Does Chomik want to do something? He's going to throw the +4. Another +4. Chomik now in the lead. Got it. Looking for the triple.
He just flipped the scoreboard.
Just when he thought it wasn't looking good.
Scoreboard flipper. Chomik looking clean. Brock back to red. Beautiful.
Wow.
That's why you don't play that early, because the Rock finds a way, Art, every time.
And it's working.
The Rock seizes back and forth we go. The pendulum swinging. No one really has any leverage. Brock does double red 5 earlier in the game. It should be safe. It could be a switch maybe, but it's safe from another red 5. He's going to go 0 sugar. Okay, hard to switch off that. Rock plays it clean. Back and forth we go now, Ed. This is big.
This is getting really interesting.
Chomik back. It's 2-color, Ed. It's red and blue. Can the Rock do anything here? He can answer. Nothing for Chomik. Brock for check. The
Or is it
Rock,
Brock
was that
for
a
the
fatal
win?
mistake? Is that a fatal?
That's
It's a
it.
fatal mistake. The Rock closes it out, and Chomik has to appreciate that. It was split ammo on the +4 Zard, split ammos on the +2. That was a hell of a game. Brock, what a move, man. You decided to throw a lot of that heat check early with the 6-bagger, excuse me, the 5-bagger and a +2, +4 combo. Your thoughts on that wild save to red? That ultimately flushed out Chomik to where he had any momentum. Thoughts on that wild save to red and how you've been able to read him early?
Yeah, as soon as I got that wild card, I tried to switch it over to all the reds that I had, and hopefully it would keep him at bay, either keep him on the reds or put him in the draw city. And it didn't really work out as much at first, but when he put down those +4s and all those +4s, it helped me out a little bit. And I think that's kind of the biggest mistake that he made.
I got to ask you, Chomik. Obviously, you had a lot of the ammo early, but you couldn't execute at the end. You said you should have went green. Could you have went a little bit more aggressive maybe on saving the wild earlier, or what was the thoughts? Because we talked about game flow with you. You decided to pull the double reverse combo early in green. Could you have saved that green in hindsight to maybe make a finishing move towards the end, or did you decide to go for it and hope it'd be an ammo war? Can't really argue with. Yeah, I mean, it was a clean game. You gotta think, our clean game, right? Clean game, 3 colors for Chomik. He says. You look at the stats, it can't get much cleaner than that. It was. They both had a wild +4s were equal, and the +2s. You can't argue, right? And in fact, if we had to really argue, Chomik had one more reverse and skip compared to Brock's combined. So, yeah, I think it was a clean game. Thoughts on just this game one? How Brock was able to sniff out that split ammo?
That was something I kind of was wondering what was going to get thrown out. Really, kind of surprised that it went like that.
Ed, the crazy thing is we talk about, Brock's always got a green. He didn't have it, though. He was playing truthful. I just tried switching up blue, then got the scent of Valhalla. Yeah. I mean, you got to understand. Yeah, that's crazy. You got to think here, Ed. The crazy part is we normally talk about Brock. You think, okay, he's going to have. He didn't. He played it truthful, so that means both guys were playing 3-color. Talk to me how Brock evolved his 3-color. And really, Chomik did nothing wrong. It just came down to, unfortunately, a little bit missed timing on that one wild card that gave Brock a little bit of ammunition towards the end. Talk to me through it.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of felt like a classic Brock game. He had some cards saved, and then it kind of started. I was starting to think there. I was like, okay, maybe Chomik, he's kind of getting a little bit closer here, but ultimately at the end there, I think it just kind of timed out better for Brock. I mean, it was very competitive. It was a good game, and I'm excited to see how this continues.
Or it's going to be a good match. Brock already up 1-0. Remember, those that just came in late. Brock will start games for you. He's got to defer. That's a huge point in this game in contention, is the fact that Brock gets the defer option, but Chomik gets free board art. Let's see what he runs.
Yeah. Chomik, how many cards per game number 2?
We have seen double OG in the past. I'll let Ed what?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Art. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How many cards, Chomik? Come on.
We're gonna go full. We're gonna go the OG full. All right.
All right, here we go.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here, Art. +2. Obviously, that card will be new next year. That's short. One of his last 2 rods in this before he gets replaced by the D2 players that got promoted. Red 5, obviously, you got to think, Art, both guys will now run the red. We didn't have that crazy starter off the starting game 1, right? It's going to be a little bit more calm and contentious here. I don't think we're going to. Well, just as I say that, just a light switch. Just nothing crazy.
You walked into that one.
But no reverses yet. Let's see if Brock fires back or tries an undercut right here, Ed. This is the thing. The reverses was what kicked us off. Remember. The Rock. Man, I'm walking everything tonight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Brock does me a favor and says, "Okay, we're gonna play that game."
Oh, okay.
But this is the Rock. You know, split ammo is always going to work, and yeah, that's what Chomik has. Let's see now, Art. One up this time from the Rock.
Down to Brad
Yeah, bad
with the
Brad.
blue deuce.
Brad's still a couple weeks from play. We're probably gonna at this point, Art, you gotta think Brad will be back in 2 weeks. We're in November now. You gotta think too. The guy's on double bye, still 2.5 away, maybe 3.
Yeah, mostly if you're on double bye, you still got some time to
We got a
wait.
long way to go. Yeah, still a long way to go.
If you are on the single bye, just think in 2 weeks you'll finally be back and being able to play once again.
Yeah, but of course we still have week 5, which is and week 4, but week 5 will be a big week for the Brock with the switch. Art,
Wow.
there it is.
Here we go.
Tie game. Brock with the switch. Chomik undercut from Chomik.
Stretch 9.
Brock gonna run with that yellow. Not a problem. Into Austin.
Advantage to the Chomik right now.
What was that?
I'm gonna put that green into his back pocket, save it for later.
That's a good point, Art. And I don't know. He played truthful. Maybe this is 3 colors, but you got to always assume Brock's going to have something in green back pocket. Let's see if Brock starts to fire it right now.
We don't know what's going on in the mind of the Rock.
Now the Rock will play the way the Rock want to play. Here he comes.
That's where it gets aggressive.
The Rock looking for some aggression, says that. Is that aggression warranted? Well, I think it's a good move here if he does it because...
there it is!
That's a classic 1-2. Classic 1-2. This is where the classic 1-2 was birthed in Brazil last year. Old Super League 23.
Yeah, we remember that.
That is a heat check.
That is a big heat check.
A massive heat check from Chomik. I don't know, Art. I don't know if I like that. I'm not gonna lie. I think Brock might.
He was ready.
Came prepared to the party. Called it.
That was a mistake.
What? The Rock leaves it open.
Wow. I don't know about that.
Well, it's not a bad move.
It's gonna work.
Oh, it worked.
It's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. I like what Brock did there.
The ISO play. Wow, you got the question is. I was just gonna say who would pick up the skip, and now that's the risk you take.
There's your answer.
Yeah, that's the risk you take. But it's not the worst thing because Chomik had red. Remember, Chomik had red to finish this game supposedly. Just as I say that.
Look at that.
You're walking into everything.
But Rock's got the answer.
I got checked.
KT loves to walk into everything.
It's just the reads, man. It's just the reads. It's just ridiculous reads. But now the Chomik will have to decide what's he going to. Young boss trying to tie this game up. The Rock looking to go up deuce. He cannot do anything. The Rock for the win.
Is this it?
Oh, wild save. Wild save. KT Ashley Brad-esque right there. I got to say, Art, that was a KT Ashley type win right there. And Chomik, oh no. What'd you have real quick, young boss? Is that a +2 combo gone wrong? Is that just waiting to the end? Risking it?
He could. Yeah, I'm thinking he might have.
And this is the thing with the Rock, right? We talked about. You said it right. He was.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Yeesh.
That's a mistake. Yeah, you could have easily had just played a +4 and played safe, but you know what? Hindsight's 2020. Big win for the Rock. He's looking good, or really good now because he's won. Brock, really good job right there. Once again, I wouldn't say this was the ammo this time because remember, we talk about this. This was the wild card really that's been able to leverage. Talk to me how you played that game where you really faded the look and you forced Chomik to almost get into a second guessing game to get the 2-0 lead right here.
Well, when I got to my yellows, at first I was gonna use all of my skips, but I decided to save it because I save at least one of my skips because I also had a red skip in case I need to to fade. But then it seemed to kind of help me out in the long run.
No, it did. Brock, real quick on that wild save. Was that the plan? Was that a plan A style? Hey, you know what? I know you drew once or twice there, but were you always intending to finish the game on that last wild card?
As soon as I had gotten the wild, since if he had switched to red, which he did, I would have used the wild as my last, and obviously that's what I did.
You got to say right now, The Rock, he's finding every. We talked about him being a perennial favorite, right? We literally said it was his form. There's no power play, right? Because you got to think about it. There's a power play involved. Chomik wins that game. It's not even close. But with no power play and the way The Rock plays the game, it just favors him. Right there's a great situational awareness. Brock said, you know what? Fade the red early a little bit enough to where you get him thinking. He's second guessed. And how do you think Chomik's got to go back to the game? He did such a fantastic job in week 1 against Nam where he was down 2-1, right? And he was able to just use the game flow. But how's he going to get this back to, at this rate, just win this last game at home before you know The Rock's going to drop that number down? Thoughts on that?
And I think this is going to be something difficult to think about here because I really don't know. I really don't know how Chomik could figure out something here with Brock.
Yeah, right now I think Ed Chomik, he's saying it's never over. But the one thing that is over, though, Ed, Brock can't use the full send and OG full at his homestand. So that's interesting. But you got to think for The Rock, he's a 7-10 character. So winning games on higher starts where he's comfortable in the mid tier, you think it's advantage Rock though a little bit, considering he's winning where he's not supposed to be winning?
Yeah, certainly advantage Brock at this point. I mean, got these 2 early wins. You're going to be having home advantage, but I think Chomik, he works well when he's behind. I think he's kind of learned a little bit how Brock is playing, and I think he's definitely going to adjust here going into this next game.
Hard, you know the words. Once again, Chomik free board. It's not what you want to hear entering game 3, but he's got one last chance at home. Let's do those honors.
Yeah, basically, Chomik free board. What do you got for game 3?
It's got to be double OG, right? It has to be.
Yeah, you're right.
Knew it. Double OG. He's got to get it done here. If he lose, Caesar +2, another +2.
What? Caesar out of nowhere.
Short and Caesar could not be here. Obviously, Caesar will be here for the huge games. Now, that's a different style game. I don't know if Ed can stick around, but that's coming up in a little bit, maybe an hour. The way the pace is going, that's going to be a difference. Loser's done, and theoretically, you lose that game, you're in trouble. No points entering week 4 is a no-no. So that's going to be a huge game. But we'll start it off with the Gen 0 from Brock, and we'll plant 5 from Chomik. Ed, right now you got to think Chomik has tried playing ammo early. He got bait to the end. The last game wasn't his fault. He had the ammo, but he waited 1 turn. Do you think he needs to find a balance right here to secure it? Oh, maybe down to 4 or 5 cards, or do you think what he did last game was fine? It just came down to one wrong timing move.
I mean, it worked out pretty good. I think you just gotta really. There you go.
Ed.
I mean,
there it is. Okay, I like this. We're gonna test Brock right now, but does Brock answer? Let's see.
I think Brock has the answer.
He might not, though.
It's either he's got an answer, or he might have an answer where it's an open door, as in the green might be left open for the back. He has an answer, but that's a concerning answer because now the green could be open. That's the thing.
That could, but one of those. It's again interesting plays.
Yeah, remember, no power play. And you wonder if this is a power play game. And you probably don't see that move in a power, but with the no power play, it makes the games different. That's where Brock's just maybe cook. And if he does move on to the next day, oh my goodness.
Oh,
he's playing split ammo.
Wow. Taking a huge lead in this game.
He's playing. You could tell, that's aggression because you know why? Up 2-0. And that's 20 cards. We've got to make that note of a comeback. We have not seen a comeback all Super League. That's crazy.
Oh, geez, Chomik hates being pressured.
I think he got cooked. Well, you know what that tells me, Chomik or Ed. That tells me all those cards Brock gave are not good cards, and he's going to have to play number efficiency. That's what he's looking at.
You would think so. There's got to be something in there. I mean, I think it's going to be a little harder for Brock to finish now that Chomik has all these cards that he can use. But
unless it's a split ammo game, unbelievable.
You say that as it happens.
Unbelievable. Ed, you can never count this guy the Rock out. You can never count him out. He's got an answer.
And this feels a lot different than his other game, so I think he might be catching Chomik a little off guard here.
And he still hasn't answered, Art. That doesn't stop.
He's mostly just flipping the whole playbook around.
Is Chomik going to try the risk to go back to red here? This is a risk.
It happened once earlier in this game.
It's going to work.
Oh, lightning doesn't strike twice.
Now Chomik's got to play the right numbers. This is a tricky spot to be in. Has to play. You can't switch it here. Right? You switch it here, you're going to give a chance to Brock. That's the last thing you want to do is switch it.
He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it.
No,
he
good
plays.
move.
He's playing really good here.
Chomik doing a good job. We'll move over to our red one. Chomik starting to lower the gap. Brock still nothing. His head. Excuse me, moment there with this plus you. 14-7. Big moment right here, Art. You know he's got a deficit on red. He's in a drought right now on the red, but God forbid you switch it right here and give him the momentum. That's the last thing you want to do.
Exactly right. I mean, William Brock can be stacking up some cards here to get to the finish too. So,
he's gonna switch it.
I don't know.
Well, that's gonna free Brock the Rock. There's no doubt. Yeah, that's freeing him up.
I wonder if that was truly the best decision available.
I think I would have just held off and drew to go into a draw. This is what we talk about game. This is what Brock wants. Art. You switch it up. You make that mistake, and he now can fade the colors. That's what he wants.
Yep.
Chomik, it's a risk too. It's not red. Is that good enough?
It's kind of working so far. I mean,
it's gonna work there. It's gonna work. But now Brock wants Chomik to switch into another color with that skip draw. He's forcing his hand. Chomik just gonna play it smooth there. I like it. The Rock, nothing. Now the game's starting to flow back here. It's starting to come back in Chomik's favor from 20 down to 4 possessions. Here comes the Rock. Anything on this end? Nothing. This is big for Chomik now, Art.
Yep.
Can he cut this
Close
to
game
2?
Once again.
Yeah, can he cut this to 2? Or cut this to 1, excuse me. The question is he switch it? Is the switch? He's not going to. That's a good move.
He's keeping it in with the same color, and that's really good.
The question is, this is William Brock. You know Brock with that yellow 3 is now evaluating what do I do here because he's going to have something cooking. I was just about to say it. There it is.
Yeah,
the switch.
There you go. You're doing it again.
The reads, man. The reads. You can see it. You can see that laser vision, Art.
Oh, but look at Chomik.
That's a huge one. You get to return it back in his favor. Well,
just like that, he's in the lead.
That's a bluff play there, Ed, from Chomik. I have nothing. Well, that's a switch and a half from Brock. So Brock Brock on defense a little bit. Here he comes.
Oh,
tricky with it. He playing tricky with it.
Now I'm thinking Chomik might have to think here.
And Chomik's got to think here. He didn't have anything. The red was a safe haven. Ed, that was what we talked about.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Chomik gets a little top deck heavy. Brock's still down 4 possessions, but now Chomik could be have a deficit on red. As he switches, goes back to blue.
But does Brock have something?
I'm sure he would have something. I think he's going to pull it right here.
Unless it's all out.
This is William Brock. You know he's going to have something. Yep.
He'll play normally here, but can Chomik try to get it close?
+4 from Chomik looking for a double.
Huge. Oh, no, this is finisher. That's finisher.
That's 20 cards. Our first comeback in 3.5 weeks, Art. We had not seen a comeback. We hadn't seen a comeback in almost 2 months. It's been a long time.
Yep.
Well, you obviously lied to us because you said you had nothing. That's a good bluff right there. Well, yeah, but wait, what? Oh, if that 20 cards you have. Yeah, but you got okay. So you got it off the. Okay, you got it off the Brock's. Okay, Brock, you decided to throw a lot of ammo off the start there. What was the theory behind that, man? Were you just trying to play the odds and percentages, say, hey, you didn't have the ammo, and you're trying to run? What was the theory behind the aggression?
Well, I didn't really have much of other cards to be able to use the fade at first, so I just kind of
Oh,
used much of the ammo on the one color that I had, or one of the colors I had. So obviously it didn't work out for me in the end, and and the draw cities didn't help either. But just got pressed on to the next game.
yeah, Brock will be at home now. He'll get the home stand. That's the least he got the 2-1. That's the mission accomplished. Different Brock. Chomik, I think the big thing that worked in your favor was that red isolation. You made some gutsy calls to get out of that red isolation, hoping a prayer in green. Did you make that hope and a prayer knowing you had a +2 advantage compared to Brock? He didn't have anything after that +4 explosion really earlier in the game. Talk to me how you gambled on that green really that ultimately paid off. Already got, I think, for Chomik here. This could easily be Chomik 3-0. Right, Brock legit got away with murder game two because Chomik just missed time the first game. I think Chomik had the ammo, he just played it wrong. How did he salvage that game? And now, what's the mindset knowing that we're done? We're finished with the high stuff. You know, Brock is going to take this lower, right, or somewhere mid tier, not low, but mid tier. And how do you think the game's going to be reassessed, knowing that we're going to a mid tier game now, rest of the way?
I think Chomik. I think Chomik needs to see what he can use from this game and try to apply it into these next three games that Brock now has. Because there's no other way that he can just think going to a mid to low card starts is gonna do well for him.
Chomik thanks Brock for the action card. I'm sure Brock will remember that one. Your thoughts here, Ed. You got to look at this in a couple storylines already developed. You got Brock here who's playing a lot of interesting stuff. He's played some split ammo. He's got a little fade going, but he hasn't been able to perfect the fade yet in this game. And he said it the last game, quote, I didn't have the fade off the start. Do you think dropping the number here ain't the worst thing, knowing that you could probably do a little bit more tricky fades with lower number and almost neutralize the game? What do you think Chomik's got? Do you think Chomik breaks the split ammo? Because let's face it, he hasn't been getting the ammo all night, but now he's going to try to do on the road stand. Talk to me how he's going to go through, because he still needs. He's got a long way to go to secure those 3 points, but his goal is definitely get us to a 2-2 and see if we can get this to game 5.
Yeah, I mean, might get a little tricky here for Chomik going into Brock low card territory. I mean, but I think that Chomik kind of learned from that last game how to really manage what he has, and I think depending on what cards they get, I think Chomik could still be in contention here, even going into these possible low card starts that Brock may be choosing here if he does choose it, unless he switches it up. But gotta be a little careful here. You have a little bit of momentum now with a win, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's the key. Our big momentum with the win there from Chomik. Brock still has the chance though to close it out. 2 wins for Brock. We got a whole different picture and agreement. If Chomik gets the three in a row here, he'll pull a 9, and now it'll be 7 points. That should do it. Big moment. Game 4, Brock, no 15-13. Or do the honors.
William Brock, no 13, no 15. How many cards for game number 4?
All right, let's go with 10.
Yeah, there it is. There's the mid tier, Ed. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Not too low.
Yep, just on the cusp of it. We'll go to the green 3. Brock looking for the three wins here right here. We're giving a minimum of point, and you got to think for Brock, not the worst thing in the world. Why? You look at his upcoming schedule as he goes into a blue 3 already. He knows Ghost is lingering, right? Ghost has a lot of pressure next week, and we know what Brock can do in that last week against Nam. He did it in T5. He's got a favorable schedule for Chomik. Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, as we go into Yellow 3, his last game against Steven, we have no idea where Steven will be. So that's going to be a wait and see moment, really. Yellow 7 now. We're going to play into this yellow art. Pretty clean here.
Yep. Well, I think that's what we were kind of expecting of.
The Rock played. Well, that's double yellow 7 from the Rock. Okay. And double yellow for Classic.
Yeah, that Always the classic.
Oh,
Oh, that's a heat
Okay.
check.
the Rock with a
Heat
heater.
check.
Nothing Chomik can do. Here comes the Rock looking to pounce. Nope, just does a quick
Just plays it
double up.
calm here.
In the green, that's not the worst thing.
That is not the worst thing.
But it is something that Chomik can pounce on.
Chomik could go for the lead here in this game.
You got the
Oh,
+2, Ard. Double play.
1-2.
Nothing. Are they both out?
Mm.
Are they both out?
I don't think Chomik's out. Oh, never mind. He is.
Oh.
Yeah, that was an OG. It was an OG classic. Well, that's a Super League style. We talked about Super League style. That's a Super League move right there. We saw it last year. We're seeing it this year. Remember game 3, Chomik got a 20 card comeback. Or we'll make note of that in the sheets.
I already did. Yeah, I already got it prepared.
That's a heat
and
check and a half to the boss.
yeah, I kind of wait.
Hey.
There's Ed. Perfect. It's 2.
There I am.
Chomik now starting to run it good at. He's starting to find rhythm, but this is the Rock. Does he have an answer?
I would be surprised if he doesn't. He's gonna
Nothing.
play it cool now.
Yeah, he's playing it cool here.
But Chomik
Gotta
has
be careful,
nothing either.
7, 8, 9.
Brock looking for an answer. Chomik the deuce.
There it is.
There's the answer. But what will be the move to close it out? The Rock looking to close it right here.
Could be a switch.
Will be a switch most likely. The question is a
Mhm.
huge run from the Rock coming.
Oh, big one.
Yeah, he just got this
Oh.
game down to a one possession game here. Huge move.
And now did Chomik get the check?
Chomik the check.
Oh.
Unfortunate for Chomik or for Brock?
Is that a killer from Brock? Is that one switch too many?
I think that might be
Oh,
for
boy.
Brock.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Not a single
Well.
+2. I don't think he had anything. I think I have to ask Brock.
Yeah.
We go into Brock's finishing cards. We got a tie game. Brock, I'm going to have to assume he didn't have anything. There's no way, right? You would have used it by then, right?
Well, I had a +4, but I didn't think that he had one of his. But I didn't really think he would have played it next. So, that's my mistake. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it was similar to what happened with Chomik in game 2, but the only difference is Chomik just straight up lost. Or if he throws the +4 there, let's say he throws it at, let's see, he does a 6-bagger, that would put him at 2. It put Chomik to 6. It'd probably be a neutralized game at that point because Chomik would just fire right back. So I think that one just came down to circumstantial. Can't do much. I'm going to say it's almost fair. They both have now had a miss on ammo reads, but I think the Chomik one was it was in his grasp with the power play. I don't think Brown, even if he had power play, would have won that. So, yeah, it's fair now. Chomik, good win there. You heard Brown, he basically only had a +4. That was it. Everything else was clean. You got to think, was it the draw city that prevailed you to win that game? Or did you have to earn that more off of the color switch efficiency from that green to red? Or a new game here. It's 2-2 now. The Rock has... He had a good lead. I drew on a wild blue 7 and a blue. Okay, so you had a little combo there of numbers.
Yep.
Let's see what he's got something else to say. Thought that was a misplay when I drew yellow 1. Okay. Okay. Then drew a +4 was immediately over Brock. Well, top deck there. We'll top deck. Yeah. Hey, I have to say, Chomik's rallied the storm, and Brock just can't get the fade going. He got it going the first game, but ever since then, it really hasn't been his typical fade look, and you got to wonder, with that upper tier package really being the dominant starter, did he get too ahead? He did a good job with the split ammo, but he hasn't got the fade. Thoughts on what he's got to do moving forward now, because this is a tie game. Basically, the winner of these next two, we're gonna get a winner. We're gonna have a tie.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, your thoughts on what Brock's got to do to adjust and some in-game adjustments for both. They're doing a good job, but the in-game adjustments is key.
Yeah, I think he's just got to go back to being classic Brock. I mean, Chomik's talking a little smack. He might be getting in Brock's head a little bit. I think Brock's just got to stay cool, calm, and collected, and just do what he does best here. And then, uh, it's gonna be tough to beat Chomik now with the momentum, but
It's Super League, man. That's what we're supposed to. We're supposed to have games like this, right? So wait till we see 10
absolutely.
o'clock tonight, 10 or 9:30 tonight. It's going to be fireworks. So don't be sorry. That's what Super League's all about. Obviously, we haven't had the media, unfortunately. It's been one of the things we've been missing, but next year that'll be cleaned up. All right. Big moment for Brock. We haven't seen his 7 through 9 special. Let's see if he pulls it out or does he go high. Let's see.
William Brock, no 13-15 again. How many cards for game number 5?
All right, let's go with 8.
There, I knew it was coming.
Crazy
There we
8.
go.
Yeah, this is where Brock, he needs to get to that 7-8 magic. This is where he's been magic all year. I don't mind this one, Art. Big moment here. Yeah, there's the magic. This is where he can start the fading right away. William Brock trying to get the fades going. And that's what he needs.
That was quick. Yeah.
Huge move from William Brock. Now Chomik, does he want to risk a switch? Now you can't risk the switch. Chomik knows it too.
Oh,
But Brock's gonna
but he
do
does.
it for him.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Brock doesn't care. He
That's
doesn't
Brock,
care.
man. No attack, no chance. WB all day. The Rock now looking clean. Chomik not going to waste time on a +2. Brock
1-2
still
right
leads
there.
by possession. Could be 2 right here, Ed.
That's right.
Yeah,
Might
it's going to be
that.
coming. You know it. He's got some lined up.
Yeah.
It's coming. Yep, there's a dancer, and we got a Tapir double, so that's it for Tapir. Now we go into Chomik's play here. He did a little +2 action to try to get close, but Brock put it back up to 3 possessions. Here comes the Rock again. He's out. Chomik the tie. Does he want to switch it, or that's the thing? Because it's still early. That's a great move. Safe move. Even if he's got a top deck, safe move. Safe move there. Chomik's starting to see his momentum. Chomik looking for it. Here's the skip. Just a double play. Nothing serious here, Art.
There's the switch.
There's the switch. He's been aggressive with it all night. That's a heat check in the green.
Wow.
Oh, but he has it. I mean, he saved it.
The thing is, though, is this a run to the finish from Chomik? No, it's just a simple play. It's a double play. Brock's got nothing. Chomik's looking good.
The check.
Chomik for the check for the win.
Oh, that might be it
Is
for this
is that
one.
it?
Is it? Chomik looking for the win. It's over. +4, and Chomik is 1 away from most likely moving on to the round of 12 with the points.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Chomik has flipped the script. Chomik, the 8 cards worked, man. You know, that's been Brock's centerpiece. How are you able to get that? You basically were just hoping for the switches because you had a deficit on yellow. You really had nothing on the yellow. It's 3 color. Brock, I mean, Brock, what happened there? Was it a case of you could have maybe let off the gas and went to a draw city on the yellow, or what was the reasoning behind the break the red? And did you get caught out?
I mean, I could have, but I feel like that would have hurt me in the end a little bit, maybe, but I'm not sure. He just Chomik just had the better cards in the end, so
Better cards in the end, says old Chomik. He got the wild +4 in a while. I mean, he just needed the right colors, Ed, and unfortunately for Brock, it seems to be a story, right? He just can't get the fade cooking. He's trying, but it's not working. The flip his script. You gotta think, if he would have got that game 3, what a story that would have been, right? Then it'd be talking 3-2 him, and he's 1 away from tying his group. Now, the only way this group is alive is he's got to win this game, and then we go into a pandemonium entering week 4. What do you think Brock's got to do to salvage the point, get a tie, and still points rack? Because he's still not out of it, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's not out of it. I think Chomik he clearly seems to play better when he's behind. I think he feels the pressure, and when he feels that pressure, he plays a little different. And I think Brock wasn't really quite ready for what Chomik had in those last 3 games. I think he played those first 2 games, and he kind of had a feel for how Chomik plays, and then I don't know. I feel like he didn't really properly adjust there, but I think he's still obviously he has a chance, and he, I mean, he's still going to play well, but I think Chomik really adjusted well.
No, he did a great job. And you got to think, Sherrod, for Chomik, no matter what happens, he's leaving with the point. How do you think he goes for the kill shot here? Does he think he's done a good job in the saving the card? He's been the first 2 games he lost the game flow. He made a mistake in game 2, right? Game 1 he just mistimed the ammo, but then he's corrected those mistakes. He made good in-game adjustments. This is almost similar to a Nam situation where he was down 2-1. What do you think he's got to do here in his last game to basically, if he wins this game, he's moving on to the round 12. If he loses, what a story we have entering the final week.
I think right now for Chomik, he's found something. He's found something in these last 3 games that has worked. For Brock to make sure that he doesn't get it, he's gonna have to do something crazy here in this last game.
Brock needs to get this one done, Art. It's going to be a big moment. 15-13, still off the board. What's he going to do for this last game? We know he has this 7-9, but what will it be? Here we go.
All right, Brock, again, no 13, no 15. How many cards for game number 6?
9.
We knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
9 cards. Here we go.
Brock usually wins games on 7 through 9. Hasn't worked on the 8 tonight. This is his last chance to tie it. Chomik 1 away from moving on to the round 12, 99.9. And that's a big spot. If Chomik can get the win at it, doesn't matter what happens there last week. But here comes the Rock with a smart move early.
Maybe too early?
Is it too early from the Rock? This has got to be a closer order. You got to close this off. There's no way. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I mean,
is it too early though?
I hope so.
It's got a point. It does.
Know. It might be.
If I'm Chomik here, I'm sitting back and watching where this goes. This is not the worst move. Comes that. Well, there's the Rock switching, but that's not a bad move.
I don't know. That's kind of interesting here.
But Chomik doesn't want to do anything. Here comes the Rock for 3. He got it. Chomik now, he's in an interesting spot right here. In an interesting spot indeed. He'll go with the skip. Maybe does he go back to another color? Fades it. Double play, looking for the triple. He goes into green. That's a fresh color, Art.
Oh, it's a yellow though.
Man, he could
have.
It's a little risky.
Really risky.
But he gets the gap down to 1. Brock for dose. Yep. Actually, the green would have been perfect, you would think, because he didn't have the green fade. Here comes the Rock. This is for the possible check. No.
Wow.
Chomik run out. No, plays it cool.
Chomik doing really good.
Yeah,
comes
so
the Rock.
Really,
needs to find something. Does he have it right here? +2 draw.
No.
Not the worst move. May have saved the game. It saves the game. He's done this before, and then he's going to get out of the jam.
Wow.
Unbelievable from the Rock. That's a heat check, but is that the right call?
I don't think it is.
Is that the right color?
Is that the right color? No, it's not the right color.
That's a check.
Chomik, got to find something. No, is this Rock to tie?
Is this it?
That's it. The Rock has tied it. We have an insane scenario entering week 4. Brock, you needed that, and what a tie to salvage. Basically, the Steven game, man. You were down at 3-2. You got to get the tie. Thoughts on getting that one salvaged, man? Because really, I think the aggression is what won you that game. Was it the fade? You were finally get the fade look going. The sideburns were looking. Did you finally get that working to get the win there? Was that finally it?
Yeah, yeah. I felt like in this game I
No.
managed to finally get a good fade or an opportunity for a good fade. So I'd say that helped me out a lot, and plus the the
Yeah.
skips that I had and the +2 that I drew helped as well. So
Yeah, I was before I get back to it, I was gonna say Chomik. I didn't really know about that red because he had. What was the theory behind? Were you just trying to flush the finish, or were you just thinking, hey man, you know what? You gotta try something, right? Talk to me about that where you could just drill. I think that was the biggest mistake. Yeah, we talked about this. Brock was wanting to go aggression. He's trying to run. Yeah, that's the one thing I think Chomik had to clean up in the game. But thoughts on Brock Salvin? He's got a chance here with the last 2 weeks for Brock. You would think now he's got a lingering ghost, and he knows Nam. Thoughts on his last 2 weeks here? 3 reds, 1 blue. So red was just safer. Yeah. Ed, your thoughts on the next opponent for the Rock playing Ghost? Chomik's going to be on a bye. He'll be off next week. But your thoughts on what the Rock's got to do to make it happen against Ghost? Because if he wins that game, he's looking pretty. He's still looking good.
Yeah, I think Brock still played very well. It was very he played well. He started off strong, and it really just depends on how Ghost replies to Brock's fade checks, and I think Brock can certainly come out of that with a win. And it's another great opponent, and we'll just see what happens. I mean, anyone in these playoffs, everyone in the playoffs is
Good.
a great competitor. So we'll see what happens.
Chomik, real quick to you, man. Obviously, you get a nice week off next week. You go into week 5. You got 1 player left, and you haven't seen this player at all. Right, it's Steven from DT. You hadn't seen much of Brock. Your thoughts on what you got to do in that bye week to get you rested for that crazy week 5 match where the group is wide open. No one can break away here. Thoughts on that? Or that's the thing. We talk about week 5 being that week of death, but the problem is we're going to see that with Ghost next week. And I think the bigger thing, it's just over.
Yeah, basically.
It's over, man. You got to go full send. It's just over. He doesn't know what to expect. It's over after week 5. He's right. But thoughts on the rally from Brock tonight, just to get it back to a point. Chomik did a great job of doing some mid-game. It was a true back and forth.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those sorts of games that it got close to the end of it, and we didn't know what was going to happen, but good on Brock to make sure that he at least salvaged the point there at the end.
Brock, I got to ask, man, you obviously, we know week 5. We know we've already talked about and discussed. Week 5 is a rematch with Nam, but now you get Ghost. You haven't seen him much all season other than that game you watched. Your thoughts on playing Ghost next week? Because that's a tough matchup, right, in the sense that Ghost has a lot more fast, strong styles, but he's tend to messing up. What do you got to do next week? Because if you get that win, it's pretty much looking good. If you get a loss, though, it comes down to week 5. So your thoughts on what you got to do for Ghost next week?
well I guess just do what I've always tried to do, just control the Fae and control the ammo, and I think I'll be all peachy from there.
The Rock looking all peachy from there. He's from the Peach State Heart. You got to think he'll be having some peaches, maybe left or peach copper left over before he gets over to that Ghost match. Art, final thoughts before we go. Yes.
Well, truth be told, I don't even like peaches, but
Wow.
But appreciate the comparison.
Yeah, you gotta do it for the Georgia men. Gotta do it for only Georgia men.
Doesn't like peaches?
No, it's funny. We just it's funny Georgia Florida rivalry with Nam in the same group. But are your final thoughts on this match? Yeah, yes, sir. Your thoughts on the match and what we're gonna see next week? Obviously, gonna be a big one for Brock against Ghost, and Chomik can him break away, but he's at 5 points. He's looking pretty solid.
Well, yeah, I think right now at your Chomik, just focus on going into this next week, kind of laying low, not focusing on much else. But for Brock, you got Ghost coming up next week, and I think Ghost can he's going to try to throw something at you that could be really interesting to watch. We'll see how that goes as we go into next week.
And final thoughts before we wrap up this puppy with some moves here. Thoughts on this?
Well, I think we watched I think we watched two of some of the best go at it, and I think it really just shows how competitive these playoffs are, and I'm excited to see how it continues.
All right, well, I appreciate that. We'll go into the old graphics now. There's the graphic. There's the point stand graph. So basically, Chomik's still at the top of the points lead. He'll be at the old 5 points. If we started Super League today, it'd be Nam would get in. And because of the virtue of Brock and Steven being tied, and they both have tied each other, ironically, there would be no. It would come down to multiple metrics. It would come to the guy who didn't play in last place, and technically last place would be Ghost. And you really can't look at that because Brock's yet to play Ghost. And of course, Steven played Ghost and they tied. So we can't really decide. They're basically tied dead heat for third. It would come down to college OT, which that's why we got to play the games out. Brock, obviously, right now with 2 games left to go. Steven's got 2 games left to go. The only guy that has 1 left in the group is Ghost. He's got to go out there and basically send it against Brock. If he basically it comes down to if Ghost does not win. In fact, in my opinion, if Ghost loses or draws, he's finished. If Brock ties or wins, he's looking really good entering that last week to set himself up in position. That's the scenario there. As we go into the old scheduler graphic, and well, it says here 1 more game left, and it's the big one. I hope Ed can stick with us. Maybe I'll add him in the booth here for the 10 o'clock. Most likely 10 o'clock. We'll see. Big game. Sanford, DJ. If Sanford loses this game, the road ahead would mean JT, who hasn't beat all season. At that point, the lane game may not matter. He's got to go out there and win for DJ. There is a little hope that he at least gets lane in week 4, but the road will be harder in week 5. It's a true playoff game. You almost have to think it's a regular season style game where you got to get to 4 and get a 3-point score, because if you don't, it could be season over. A tie isn't the worst thing, but it would almost be detrimental as well, considering Lane has gotten 2 points, and for DJ, JT's at 7 points. He's going to full send it, and for DJ, Lane's already gotten 2 points with momentum off a bye. So that is a true desperation, big time game. Caesar will be ref for that. We're just going to transition over everything before we get to that. Well, what a night here on the table. It was Chomik to make the adjustments early. He needed to get to a 3-2 lead, but unfortunately for Chomik, he couldn't close it out, and Brock ties the night, salvages maybe not only this game, but maybe his Super League dream, as he'll have 2 more shots at the apple, big match with Ghost, and Chomik will await week 5. What happens with Steven in week 4? Steven, remember, off the bye plays now. Going to be an interesting game for both players. That's going to do it for me. We'll see you guys at 10 o'clock. Big one. Ed's going to be in the booth, hopefully, with us. Sanford, DJ Curtis. We'll see you there. Have a great night, and we'll see you around 10 o'clock, wherever you're watching in the world. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you then.